Nothing as good as 1,000 times resist.
I can't believe the transition I'm about to do, David. But David, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite. Welcome to Video Game Podtimism. It is the Optimists video game variety show where two best friends talk about the wonderful world of gaming. My name is Chase.
And my name is David.
Today we say goodbye to the pod space, David.
Yeah, Chase's only pod space he has ever known is being moved away from. He's moving on to greener pastures.
Yeah, we're moving right now, and I've been in this house specifically for 6 years, and the podcast has only ever known these four walls. And soon I will transport it to a new space, a new world.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, excited, grieving this space.
Grieving it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of episodes. We put into the fucking work in here.
It's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
It is the crucible from which the pod was born.
Truly, though. Yeah, the deep, like, it's Monday, we've both been drinking all day because it's COVID, and, like, now let's record a podcast and talk about video games.
Exactly. You know, there's going to be a little plaque on that house in the future. Like, this is where Video Game Podtimism was born.
God, can you believe
the spot?
The level of fame we would have to arrive at would be astronomical for that to be the case.
It's just going to be something that anybody who's ever started a podcast is going to have a plaque wherever it started. It's pretty much going to be every house in America.
This is universal basic acknowledgement. That's cool.
Yeah. It'll show like your peak listener count.
Oh,
top episode.
I don't know if I need that being public.
Hey, why not?
You know,
we ain't bro joking. It's fine.
Yeah, it's true. It's just like, is it more than you think? Is it less? We're just that's a pissing contest. Is what's happening. I'm realizing. Fuck it.
Sure.
Throw the metrics to the wind. Let them see.
Let me piss into the wind.
Yeah. Well, hey, we talk about video games here. It's actually been a little while since we've like reintroduced ourselves for any new listeners. If you're new here, hi, welcome. We talk about games fairly optimistically, and we talk about eventually in the next segment, I would say okay to shitty games.
Mm-hmm.
And we find something that we like about it because there's something cool in every one of them. I will say every now and then we just kind of break the mold and talk about a game that is actually quite good. These are listener suggested video games that we play for our second B segment.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people just are like, hey, play the good one. And we're like, that's a nice treat. That's a nice little salve for us.
Please and thank you.
Yeah. So that's our thing. We're hanging out and we've been doing it for a little while and we're excited to keep doing it, I guess.
That was a very excited voice there.
Yeah. Also something that we don't mention up front enough. There is a Discord if you want to come hang out with other like-minded podcast listeners. It's the TWG Discord. We're part of the network that the Into the Aether fellas started. And yeah, there's a Discord for all of the podcasts there. So you can come hang out. That's on our website at podtimism.com. And if you want to suggest a game, you can do that there too. So yeah, we usually say that at the end, but you know,
wow.
I see the analytics. People hear the end of good games and they're like, see ya, peace.
So front loading.
Yeah. Why not here? Also, give us a review. That would help us out a lot. I promise we don't do this all the time. But yeah, thank you. Appreciate you. David, have you been playing video games?
I have been. I've been playing a handful of games.
I would like to hear about them, please.
I have been playing the first Berserker Khazan.
Okay, I'm so curious.
Khazan, the first Berserker.
Yeah, I have no idea what this is. I keep seeing it in a lot of places. Is this like a Souls-like?
It's a Souls-like.
Okay.
It's like a... It's more of like a Lies of P, like, really, in a lot of ways, but it's fun. It is definitely in the Souls take of a game, right? You are Khazan, who is a general who has got his tendons slashed all throughout his upper body because his king has decided that he doesn't like him anymore.
Okay.
He sends him off to some gulag somewhere to be tortured and beaten and probably die.
Mm-hmm.
And then en route to said gulag, a disembodied creature of some sort, like an evil spirit, takes over his body and gives him new life, essentially.
Yeah.
And then you start just going around beating ass. I'm just playing the demo right now. I have not played the full game, but it's very fun. It is a good version of a Souls-like game. Mm-hmm. It is much quicker than any of the Dark Souls games. The combat is much more fluid. The movement is much more fluid. So I'd say that's why I'm kind of saying it's kind of a little bit more like Lies of P in that you have a dash or like a dodge step, essentially. which is also like Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Probably the closest thing it is to Bloodborne as far as the speed of the action in this game. But it's a lot of fun. It's everything you would expect from a good Souls-like game. Strategic kind of poke and dodge and block combat, good ways to parry, nice weighty feel to the weapons, and it's also a beautiful game. It has like an anime inspired art style that is very striking. It looks great in motion, and whenever you get into a new area, they have that secret sauce of any good Souls-like game, Soulsborne game, where they give you just a big wide view of the area. You're just like, oh, where the fuck am I? So yeah, I've been having fun with that game so far. Haven't played a whole lot of it, but I just thought it was worth mentioning in that, I could definitely see myself, if the rest of this demo is fun, just getting lost in this game because it's just so my jam. Yeah. So yeah, I'm curious to see how the rest of this goes.
Yeah, it's interesting. The visual style kind of reminds me of like the Tales games, like the more modern ones. Like
I definitely see that. Yeah.
Which is cool. Like that's an interesting art style for a Souls game. You kind of don't see it like that typically.
No, you don't.
What is the like level structure in this? Or is it like open, or are you going from like level to level?
So far, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
But are you meaning is it kind of more like a Demon Souls or more like a Dark Souls sort of feel? Is that what you're talking about?
Like what was that game? Wo Long Fallen Dynasty, the like kind of Souls like in, I think that was China.
I didn't play that one.
Yeah, but it had a similar idea of like there are bespoke levels that you were going through. Is Neo like that too? I forget how Neo works. But
the Neo works by kicking my ass. That's all that Neo does.
It is quite challenging.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always interested to see like if a game takes up that challenge for a Souls-like game, because I do think the interconnected world is like some of the fairy dust that they sprinkle on top of those games every now and then.
Absolutely.
That is like, I think, remarkably harder to do than the combat. Like the combat seems like kind of table stakes a lot of the time for a good Souls. Like you do have to make that feel good in the first place. But the like kind of open and spiraling world that like goes from one area to another and you end up back in a similar spot after you've like kicked down a ladder or something like that. Like that sort of stuff is just really, really cool. And I will say something that Liza P does very well.
Sure does.
In that like most of it you can get from one place to another if you just like walk. But I'd be interested to see like if kind of what approach they're taking it. Because Wo Long is like level based. I'm watching like a YouTube video of somebody playing through it. It looks like this one is too. So I wonder if they're just focusing more on like the combat of it all.
I was about to say, just from judging the first level, I would think it's probably level based, but I just can't say for certain yet.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting to see like this genre develop, because I know everybody's tastes are going to be a little bit different, but like kind of whenever one of these is really like is at least competent and pretty good, I'm usually going to be there, Yeah. Not to rehash the same fucking argument again, but like I liked playing through Lies of P. Even sort of my analysis of the creative output of that game aside, like I did play through the whole thing and enjoyed it. Wo Long was similar too, of like, I don't know that I necessarily, this feels like the most original thing in the world, but like I am enjoying playing it. And I wonder when the market's going to kind of reach saturation there. Like when it's like a new Souls-like is like, everybody's like, whatever. But at the same time, like I feel like if there is a good version of that, people will still show up for it. And it does look good. I may check this out too. Like I just keep seeing it everywhere. I'm like, is this a game that I need to play?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm having a good time with it so far. Yeah, like I said, the combat is quick. So it definitely scratches a different itch than, Dark Souls or even Elden Ring scratches, right? So it definitely is trying to provide some sort of differentiation between those two. And it's trying to also be a little flashier in just how it is presenting the combat as well. And in the demo, they did this really great thing where it's a pretty linear track you're on, and then you look behind yourself and like, oh, there's a secret path behind you going up like the mountain that you just came off of. So you go up there, and then just a giant, like abominable snowman comes out of nowhere and just starts beating your ass. And then it's like, okay, here's the first big actual fight here. And then you beat this creature, and it feels real good. It feels real good because all you've been beating her up is just like scrub guards that whole time until then. So it definitely wants to reward that curiosity curiosity, and that always makes me want to play more because like they knew that a gamer would be like, I'm going to turn around, maybe there's something over there. There is secret path. Let's go. Let's see what's good. And there was a fun thing there.
Yeah.
So if there wasn't something as engaging as that battle there, I would have been maybe a little hesitant to keep on going. But now I'm like, okay, these guys know what makes these sorts of games good. Like reward my curiosity and then give me the challenge of the gameplay, which is kind of why I'm here.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they can keep that up in the rest of the game.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, I may end up checking this out as well.
Yeah, I look forward to many more Lies of Khazan arguments in the future with you.
This is a bee like this one. A berserk like.
A berserk like.
Oh
so we have BP, PB, P and B.
Yeah, P and B.
Peanut butter. Peanut butter like.
Yeah, a peanut butter like.
Makes no sense. Anyways.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt you with the Manga Minute, but I have to now that I just said a berserk like.
Sure.
For my first foray into manga was reading Berserk because everybody was like, you should, or it wasn't my first foray, but it was like one of the first things I was like, I got to check it out. People say it's so fucking good. And I read a lot of it and like really did like it. I was like, this is really cool. Like the density of the art is really amazing. Have you read a lot of Berserk?
I have not, no.
Sure. So I will say that for anybody who has read Berserk, I stopped a couple chapters prior to the eclipse, which people who know what that means will know what that means and how deranged it is to stop right before that. But I didn't know what was coming. And I picked it back up the other day because I was like, I should give it another try. I've read a lot of manga recently, and like I feel like I've gotten my legs under me a little bit about like what I appreciate about the form and like what stuff is cool. And started reading, and like the entire thing shifts on its head at this point in the manga. I am just like blown away with what is going on. And finally I'm like, oh, I see the arc that they're doing here. Like the bit that I read through recently was just like, yeah, this is like a really cool tale and like really classic, but like, why did they do this like flash forward in the very beginning of the manga? Like the first couple chapters are like taking place in a different time than the other like 80 or whatever that I've read up to this point have taken place in. Why? And then sure enough, I get an answer and it's bananas.
Now you know.
I cannot believe it. It's phenomenal. I never encounter, or not never, but like it's so rare that I encounter something where it is so hyped. People are like, this is the best shit ever, just universally. And it is actually that good. Usually I at least have some kind of nitpick, right? Of like, I don't really like this thing. And like, I will say some of the treatment of like the design of some of the women in the manga, I'm like, but it also does things kind of responsibly every now and then. I'm like, okay, well, which one is it? Damn it. Like, are we going to be responsible with the nudity or not? But the rest of it's just unbelievably good. It is so amazing. And I'm like really wrapped in again because I'm at like the meat and potatoes of the story. It's so cool. Anyway, shouts out to Guts. That's the Manga Minute.
Hell yeah. I got to give that one a shot. I got to get into Berserk.
I think you would love it. It's phenomenal. Like it's incredible. It's on the Dropbox that you and I share.
Put up.
So give it a look. It's really, really good.
Okay, cool.
Also, speaking of Dark Souls, good God, it is just Dark Souls, the manga. Or I guess I should say Dark Souls is just Berserk in a video game form.
The video game. It's
so good and so cool. The like characterization of the world and shit and all the fucked up monsters are just like, yeah, you got it. It's really
Dark Souls.
Good. Yeah. Sorry to combo break you, but I had to get in there while the iron was hot.
Get in there.
Yeah. What else you got?
I've also been playing Hollow Knight.
Just straight up Hollow Knight. I don't know why I thought you were going to say Silk Song. I think my heart yearns for that to be the case.
I got a bootleg copy.
This game fucking sucks. It's Sneak King, but with a Silk Song skin over it.
No. Oh man, that would be such a bummer. You just have to sneak up on different bugs.
Yeah, you're playing as Hornet, but she's delivering whoppers to other denizens of the underground.
It's not even like bug food. It's just whoppers. Burger King bought Team Cherry.
That's why it's taking so long for Silk Song. They're making like the BK integrated different versions of the game. They have the go-kart game, Sneak King, and then there was another one that they made. I don't remember what it was.
They made a lot of games. Wow.
Big Bumpin' was one of them. the bumper cars and the racer. Yeah, Pocket Racer. It was like a motorcycle game. So bumper cars, sneaking and racing.
They just need to come back and make a dating sim. I want to date a Whopper.
I would love to see if I could date a Whopper. I would at least try.
Are you going to end up with a Whopper or the chicken fries? Who knows?
It's a tough call. Man, their fries used to be so good. What happened, you guys? They made them remarkably worse over time.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God.
They did used to be so good.
In like 2002, I know I sound like an old head, everybody. Just bear with me. In like 2002, Burger King fries were so good. They were so good. And then I think they were like, what if we made them oilier and not as tasty? And they said, yes, please. They're just not good anymore. And I long for those days. And I hope that in the game, the dating sim Burger King game extravaganza integration of 2025, that they will let me date the original fries.
Burger King.
Yeah, rather than the ones that kind of like, aren't really there anymore in the way that I need them to be.
Well, the issue is that they probably started using some seed oils. They need to go back to that good old fashioned beef tallow.
I need my nasty beef fries.
Give me my meat fries, baby.
I guess that is what chicken fries are, huh?
It is what chicken fries are. But anyways, I've been playing Hollow Knight. And specifically, every once in a while, I get a bee in my bonnet about a boss that I was never able to beat back in the day. Mm-hmm. And so I've decided to give Nightmare King Grim another go.
Which dude is this?
This is the dude from the DLC. He is very hard.
I don't know if I ever fought him. Honestly, I don't know if I did the DLC or not.
The DLC was good. I'll tell you that right now. But this guy is so hard. I have not beaten him yet. I think I was at 32 hours played for the whole game when I started it back up. And now, after just trying to beat him, I'm at like 42.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wow.
So it's just been, just learning his moveset. He's just so fast. He is both a sprint and a marathon.
Yeah.
Because all of his moves come out so quickly. And if you don't respond immediately, you're going to get clapped. All of his moves do 2 full units of damage. So he will just shred you so fast. There's no time to heal in between anything. So you just have to give up on healing and just it is the definition of just get good. You have to just learn how to dodge everything, hit him when you can, and then just pray that you do it for long enough that he dies. I'm almost there. I feel like I'm getting pretty close, but it's quite fun. It's just such a mechanical challenge. It's a beautiful chaotic dance that you're doing with this guy. And this game is still so good. Yeah. It came out so long ago now, and it's still magnificent. It plays so well. It feels so good. The vibe is still so right. And when they didn't announce Silk Song at that Nintendo Direct the other day, I was like, I just need to touch again and just see if it's as good as I remember after, having played so many other excellent games since then. And I am happy to report that Hollow Knight still really stands up so well. So yeah, Nightmare King Grim is in my crosshairs right now. We'll see if I get through to the other side.
He's on your bozo list right now.
He's on my bozo list. Oh, that's what I wanted to say last week. You know how the Nemesis system is copyrighted?
Yeah.
We need to start the bozo system. We need to get this back.
Thing.
It's a different thing.
Legally distinct.
It's not your Nemesis, it's your bozos.
Yeah, we should. It's crazy that they copyrighted that. It's really sucks.
Isn't that studio gone now? So effectively, I think so. Yeah, no one has that anymore?
It's just dead. Yeah, it's crazy. Again, look, this is why we don't let it happen.
We start the bozo system. Yeah. Once, the higher up of a tier of bozo you go, the more clown makeup they have on. And you can find them in the world because they make clown shoe noises around. And you find them. You got to track them down. They're like colossi.
Final boss, Pagliacci, the Destroyer.
That's a good one. That's a deep cut.
It's a very brave move on your part to say, I haven't played this game in years. I'm going to start off with the hardest shit. That's really intense.
I don't know what came over me. I think, the other game I'm going to talk about, I had beaten it and I was just kind of feeling empty and I just needed to feel something. So I just felt like I needed to try to climb the tallest mountain I could. Sure. And I just went back into it. And, it's all video games, baby. You figure it out. I had no idea how to do so many different tech moves, and I forgot completely about how to change my charms and whatnot and what charms I had. And it was funny because I had tried to beat this guy before and I realized that I had done something that I had read online now to do to get the unbreakable strength charm. Yeah. You had to give it to this bug and then give that bug 15,000 geo, which is a fuck ton of geo.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
And then they poop it back out as like an unbreakable charm instead of a fragile charm. So if you die, it breaks and you have to go and repair it.
Right.
But now you just have it permanently. And I was looking for that charm. I'm like, where did that charm go? Did I not buy it? And then I realized I'd actually given it to that person already. And I just needed to get more money to get it. So I had to go farm a little bit too. Got to go geo farming. So yeah, my past self gave my present self a little boost that I had totally forgotten.
Amazing. Yeah, the relay race finally paid off. He grabbed the stick and started running.
Sure did. But yeah, Hollow Knight is still so good. And this boss is insane. It's going to feel real good when I finally get him.
What's a little frightening about our current situation and when we're recording this is that they're announcing the Switch 2, I think on Wednesday. And
my God, it's already April. Oh, yeah. Wow. I did not realize this at all.
It's coming this week.
What if they announce, hey, it's coming out next week?
I think that would probably be a bad move, all things considered.
You gotta get ahead of these tariffs, baby.
I like shadow dropping video games because there's no real harm in it, but like just doing it that quickly without any like forewarning seems like a bad decision. Because everybody's like, oh shit, I gotta get to the store right now. Mom takes me to Sam's Club. I gotta go, dude.
I gotta take out a loan.
Yes. But we're in sort of this precarious moment because we're recording this on Monday and it hasn't happened yet. And there's a possibility, and I'm going to put on my own bozo makeup right now, just so we're aware. I understand. But there's a possibility that they say, yes, Switch 2 is coming. Yes, Silksong is launching on the very first day that it's out. I don't believe this will happen, but there's a world where that's the case. There is a world.
Look, I'm just going to say we have had a tendency to speak some things into existence before.
Yeah.
And it did cross my mind when I booted up Hollow Knight again that, hey, maybe this is going to be what pushes it over the edge.
Yeah.
It just needed the Podtimism bump.
The prodigal son had to return. We're the thing that's been stopping it from coming out. We're sorry.
Yeah, we needed to utter its name one more time, Hollow Knight, Silksong, and then it will come out from its cave.
Yeah, there's no way it's ever coming out. That's my thought. It's just
you really think they're going to Half-Life Volume 3S or Episode 3S with that one? Episode 2? Episode 3?
Episode 3, I think.
Episode 3, yeah.
I think that it's either never going to come out or it's going to be The Last Guardian in that like people are like, ay, maybe that's not so good. Sorry directly to Willow Rowe from Girl Mode. I know you're a huge fan, but like I feel like the consensus at the time was like, it's not so good.
Yeah.
I would like to have a redemption arc for The Last Guardian, to be honest. I would like it to be good. So maybe it's time to replay. Maybe it tastes better on my modern palate.
Yeah. You know, honestly, like if Silksong is just more Hollow Knight, that's still going to be a damn good game. Because I'll tell you, yeah, Hollow Knight is still good.
Yeah.
It's still good. It came out like 8 years ago now.
Yeah, 2017, I believe.
Man.
It's I think I just get scared whenever a game goes into development hell for that long. There are very few games that are in development hell, and when they come out, everybody's like, whoa, that's really good. Usually it's like, yeah, you can see that it used to be this kind of game, and now it's this other kind of game.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I'm
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 is a good example.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I can't believe it's 2 more days until the Switch 2 gets announced, or we finally get information on the Switch 2, I guess I should say.
Yeah. Also, justice for the West Coast. Each of these Nintendo Directs recently has been like, okay, we're going to do a Nintendo Direct. It's like at 4 fucking a.m. West Coast time. That's actually not true, but it is at 6 this time. And I'm like, dog, I don't know if I want to wake up at 5:55, pop in my headphones to watch this thing live, you know?
You're gonna get to wake up to all the news right there already, though. It's just gonna be a steaming hot pile of trailers for you when you wake up.
My fear is that I need to like get up so that I can pre-order one of these things.
I mean, we're not in a COVID world anymore. These supply chains should be fixed.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like people are gonna freak the fuck out and scalpers are gonna buy all of them.
Yeah, gotta make your way to your local GameStop.
Yeah, is there anywhere else that sells a Switch that isn't terrible?
Yeah, after, what is it, Ryan Cohn, their CEO?
Yeah, he said something stupid recently, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. Yeah.
I just have a lot of money and a gift card there, so I'm like, that's what I'm saving it for. So that's what it's going to be used for.
Yeah, maybe Pink Gorilla Games will carry a couple Switch 2s that I can buy from them.
Ooh, That was a cool spot.
That was a cool spot. Shouts out to Pink Gorilla Games in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
You said you have a third game that you beat.
Yes.
Pray tell, David.
It's 1,000 times Resist, Chase.
I was wondering and hoping, and damn, you played a lot of 1,000 times Resist in the last week, David.
I did. It was pretty much the only thing I played after a while. Once the story hooks you, you're like, okay, yeah, this is it. This is it.
That's the arc. You play like the first half an hour, and then you do like that first communion, and then you're like, I think I need to play 8 to 9 more hours of this today.
Yeah. It's just like, all right, here we go. This is great.
Wow, I'm so excited. Please tell me. First, let's talk about it without spoilers. And then if you want to talk spoilers, we can do a little chapter marker and people can bounce if they need to.
Yeah, this was an amazing game.
Yes.
The story and just every aspect of the game comes back to all these central themes of immigration, parental relationships, especially like maternal relationships between a mother and a daughter, what it means to be a human, right? So many things going on there. Communication, right? How the importance of being able to talk to others. Yeah. It's just, there's just no wasted moment or character or anything in this game. Everything is considered and cycles back to one of those central consistent themes or motifs or ideas that the game is exploring. And that was just very masterfully done. I thought it was pretty incredible. Like once you're like halfway through it or like even 3/4 of the way through, you're like, wow, everything is really so interconnected and integral to each other and to itself. They've just created this very beautiful sphere of emotion. Of meaning throughout this epic story that spans like eons, right?
A long time. A
long time. Quite literally epic in its scope. Yeah, I've just pretty much loved every little nook and cranny of this game. Yeah. A very special experience and something that I will think about and have been thinking about for quite some time since I finished it.
Yeah, it still keeps doing that. And I just continue to think about it for a long, like I had that exact same experience of like, this is really sticking in my craw. Like, there's every couple like hours I'll think about something and be like, oh shit, I forgot about that. I wonder what that's about or something like that. It's just unreal how long it really like sticks with you. And yeah, I haven't really stopped thinking about it since then.
They draw so many parallels between so many different characters and situations and relationships throughout the whole game. It's incredible.
It's wild that they're able to tell like 4 or 5 different stories that are all kind of the same story, but make it feel like one continuous thing. Yeah. Like you get so many different perspectives and so many different like things that are happening all at once and so many different events that are depicted across different times, but it's all sort of speaking to a very similar experience at the end of the day, which is like, it's just wild. It's crazy. It feels like a magic trick sometimes.
Yeah, no, it was very impressive. And like, they just do such a good job of making you pretty much be able to emote with and understand almost every single character in the game, including like the occupants.
Yes. Yeah. Which is like
the big bad creatures.
The invading force.
The invading force. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah. When I hear it from this perspective, I kind of see how, you were just kind of misunderstood.
Yeah.
Like quite literally misunderstood. Yeah. It's just, it was very impressive. It was very impressive. It was great. Enjoyed every minute of it, truly.
This is a great relief to me, David.
We just think I was going to come here like, this is the stupidest game I've ever played in my life.
I would be okay with that, to be honest. Like, I want you to feel something about it. If you had come back and been like, it was fine, then I would have been like, oh no, my poor sweet video game. But if you had hated it, I suspect that we probably would have found similar stuff that we either loved or hated. Like the same things would have been used as examples of things that we liked or hated.
Sure. You just wanted me to have an opinion, a strong reaction to the game in some way.
Kind of, yeah. Just like what do you feel about these things?
Resonance.
Yeah, resonance. God, what a good game. Do you want to talk any spoilers about this, or do you want to leave it at that? Where do you want to go?
I mean, you've talked about this game quite a bit on the podcast, haven't you? Yes. I mean, unless you have any questions that you want to like get my take on from this game that might be spoilery, lay it on me, because I know you're all up and down on this game. Yeah.
Hey, let's just go plot beat by plot beat, blow by blow, every single thing. want to get your feelings.
What's your opinion? No. What's your opinion?
Yeah. No, I'll put a spoiler marker in here. I will play the Wii Shop music for a moment. I won't do the voiceover because like I am doing it right now. So just here's your Wii Shop music.
Yeah.
But spoilers for this game. I'll put chapter markers in and, skip ahead if you don't want to hear any of this.
Mm-hmm.
So many things. What was kind of the moment that like stood out for you? Where did you get stuck on? Like, what's the thing that you're left with?
Just overall for the whole game.
Like, what was kind of the scene that you're like really attached to?
Probably that first communion or first or second communion where you are going through your family's
apartment,
like immigrant experience, essentially. Yeah. That one was the first thing that really stuck with me. Mm-hmm. And I think sets the thesis essentially for the rest of the game in a lot of ways. I feel like so much can be traced back to the immigrant experience and especially of like fleeing a dangerous place, right? And what that does to a person and what the effects are, overarching through, eons and, also in just your more close relations as well, right? Yeah. Your immediate relations. So that was the one that for me stuck out the most and like what comes to my mind immediately when you ask me about that game. Mm-hmm. The ending or near the end where Blue blows up the ministry, the provisional government. Yeah. That also stuck out to me. And just like that whole entire shift of, okay, what the fuck just happened? Mm-hmm. I was just Watcher. I did something crazy. You get past the point in the game that you saw at the very beginning of the game. And it's like, okay, now we're in uncharted territory. So I don't know what's going on. And now I'm some different character and the world is different. And I'm in Asia for some reason. So what is happening right now?
Yeah. It's such a cool moment.
Yeah, the confusion with that was really good. It felt like, when I first played Kingdom Hearts 2 and I played as Roxas, I was like, what the fuck is this? But they gave you so much time with Watcher that then when they changed it to Blue, it was more of like a question of like, what is going on, as opposed to if it was at the beginning of the game, like in Kingdom Hearts 2, it's just kind of more confusing and you're like, hey, bring me back to the real game, right? But I thought that was well done.
There's an interview that Matt Horton did with Remy Sue of Sunset Visitor, and he explicitly says we wanted to have a Kingdom Hearts 2 moment with that.
Really?
Yes, he said that is the thing we were trying to do. Just so amazing that
this looks like the same character. She just says it sounds very similar.
Yeah.
Of course. They're clones, totally of course,
different.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the context is totally different. There were a couple times in the game where I like literally gasped out loud.
Yeah.
Like when they revealed Principal was still alive, and both of them are Principal. When they revealed that Principal is the ancient sister, and then when they revealed Principal survived after the bombing, and then also when there was big buff secretary, Ocutary, Secupant, Seeker, because he's a keeper and a secretary, right?
Yeah,
they call themselves keepers, right?
Yeah.
So that was also a gasp moment. Like not many games make me gasp audibly when a plot beat happens, but this game did it quite a few times. You gotta earn it. Yeah, I was shocked when Principal was like, I'm the ancient well, she didn't say it, but you find out like she's the ancient sister. Like, oh shit, the devil's been here the whole time.
Kind of.
Is she the devil though? Right?
Yeah, I mean that's part of the special sauce of this game too. Is just like where is your line? Where is your principle? Where is your ethical line that you're like not willing to cross?
Yeah,
and like, are you able to forgive people for crossing it too? Like,
yeah. And they give you that very explicitly at the end.
Yes, yeah.
Turn the lights on or off.
Yeah. How did you deal with that? Did you like who did you keep on, and what ending did you get?
I got the ending where you talk to Blue in the surfaced generation ship afterwards.
Yeah.
So I got rid of the Red Guard. I got rid of...
Easy. The easiest decision. Like, yes,
easy
I'm going to throw out the fascist cops. Easy.
Yeah. Fascist cops gone. I got rid of the religious fanatics who were self-immolating because I'm like, that's too much. You don't kill yourself.
Yeah, sure.
That was me. I got rid of Nowhere.
Okay, yeah.
And I got rid of Principal.
Those two are the ones that are a little bit hairy to decide on.
Yeah, it was, and I got rid of Capital Red.
Yeah, also like
Mauve.
Nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, we're
just
good
like,
up there.
no. At first I was like, should I? And I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Nowhere was probably the hardest decision for me.
It's tough because she did bad shit, you know, but it was the closest to being in service of something good, you know, especially with like kind of the torture-y stuff that happened.
Torture, you mean the torture?
The torture, yes, that happened to watch her. It's like hard to get over that, you know, like,
yeah,
she did that, but also like would Watcher have died had she not? And maybe is that worth it? Like, was it her decision to try and keep her alive despite putting her through these horrible circumstances?
Absolutely.
It's hard to know.
No.
If I remember correctly, I think I tried to keep Noah alive because I was like, I think she should maybe have one shot.
I get that. For me, she just crossed the line.
Yeah, totally.
Like, did she do? I think she did all those terrible things for probably a good reason born out of love of her sisters, but she still did awful things.
It was bad. Yeah, it's bad shit.
Yeah. And I just didn't see a world where she could truly like be forgiven by the other people for those things.
Yeah, that's true. Again, the game is posing to you like, this is a new chance. You've got another chance. And what are you comfortable with permissing in this new world?
Yeah.
And like, my brain is always trying to think of like forgiveness being a big thing and like wanting to involve that in a part of normal society. But yeah, like, where's the line, dude? Like, cause you might also be allowing in these kind of like means or ends justify the means thinking. And you know, what problems does that create? Cause it certainly does create some.
Absolutely.
And again, just like it wrapping back around to like, yes, also that's the experience of these two immigrants coming here and creating a new world for their daughter, you know, like what do they want to bring along with them and what's permissible to them and what's not. Unreal. So fucking good.
Right. And then they all immigrate back to Earth, back to the surface at the very end.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
A place they've never been.
Yeah. Amazing. It's so good. The for whatever reason, I kind of know the reason, but like the stuff that the thing that really stuck out to me, like super hardcore, was the mass communion that you do. So weird and good. Like, I think part of it is just that like there's so much tension rising at that part of the story. Sure. And like all this stuff happening and Watcher being like about to kind of like sacrifice herself essentially to like get this mass communion out there and shit. Or like, I can't remember if she had already passed at that point, but it was right around the same time. And all this shit's happening, all this tension's building. And then I was really expecting the mass communion to be like a depiction of events of like, look at what's happened, look at what Iris did, look at the truth of the situation. But instead it's like just these totally mundane real life footage of Earth, I guess, you know, like, I'm tempted to say that's Hong Kong. I actually don't remember if it is or not. I think it is, but
I think it's intended to be if it's not.
Yeah. Just unbelievable. I was like bowled over at that moment because I was like, oh yeah, duh. Like she's kind of just making an argument for like, this is what we should be doing, or like, this is how we should be living, or like, look at the beauty of this kind of just like nothing moment in a way, you know, like, I don't know. It was remarkable in a way for, cause I felt at that scene, just like they're communicating to me like how important and cool any given moment can be. And like, you know, it's also like slowed down. I think parts of it are like playing in reverse. And so it's this like kind of almost memory of a place out of time in a way that feels like a memory to me of like, what was it like in, you know, 1997 or something? It feels like that video. It's just such a cool way to do it. And I think also it's so crazy because I think Sunset Visitors said that they were like, it got to that moment and they're like, I don't know what to do here. Essentially, they're just like, let's figure it out, I guess. And that was the thing they came up with, which is just like, it was so incredibly moving for reasons that are like, I think I understand why, but also like it's also hard to describe. Just kind of an experiential moment of like, whoa, I am really moved by this bit of game.
Yeah, it's not explicitly saying anything, right?
No,
it's just
words.
It's all vibes. It's all vibes.
There's no dialogue. There's no like narration or words to read on the page. It's literally just real life footage, and it just felt like a really confident decision to make right there. Of like they know exactly what they're trying to communicate, even if they said like I don't know what's happening here, but like the confidence to just be like, we're just gonna put fucking like VHS footage of this place in
not
here.
Not even high def.
No, like
crusty ass footage.
And that's it. Like, man, unreal. It's so good. I love this video game.
Yeah, it was great. It was very good.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what this studio does after this.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine. Like
So it's their first game, right?
Yes. Yeah. A lot of them like taught themselves how to make games during the process of making this one. And yeah, I don't know what their next move would be. I like hearing from Remy Siu enough. Like it seems like he's kind of on the level with this stuff, because I think a very big temptation after sort of a big success in this way, like I don't know if they made, money hand over fist, but like critically that this game is really well received. I think that there would be a temptation to be like, let's go bigger and broader and like do something really amazing. And I think they already have here. And so I do suspect that like some of the restriction in what they could do bred a lot of creativity. Because again, like he said explicitly, like the reason we picked a game about clones is because we could use a lot of the same models for like the characters, and we could get away with that. You just put them in different clothes, and that's how their identity is expressed. But like we didn't have to come up with a ton of character models because they're clones. You don't need a lot of them. And so like I hope that they're able to nail the balance of like, maybe they put slightly different effort into different places, but to like really hang on to like the stuff that makes them amazing here, which I think is their strength of writing, the confidence in their design, and just this like steadfast commitment to the values and themes that they're trying to express. Like you said, there's nothing wasted here. There's no throwaway lines. There's no throwaway scenes. Even the ones that are funny are there intentionally, like Bang Bang Fire showing her collection of dance moves, like such a bizarre moment after such an intense harrowing scene. It's like, whoa, what the fuck is happening here? It's amazing. That was me talking to you about a video game. Sorry.
It's fine. You love it.
That's true. Yes.
It's a great game. Yeah. It deserves to be talked about. But yeah, it's one of the more creative games I've played in recent memory, or maybe all memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just oozes thoughtfulness and creativity and intention. Great game.
Yeah. Amazing. Wow. Video games.
That's all I've been playing. Chase, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a bunch of shit.
Nothing as good as 1,000 times resist.
I can't believe the transition I'm about to do, David. But David, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite.
Wow. Get you a podcast that can do both.
That can do both. Good God.
Is Watcher in Fortnite yet?
I don't think so, but I wouldn't put it past Epic to do that. I'm also like, listen, Epic, it's on site. If you put a Watcher's skin in there, I'm blasting V-Bucks through the screen to buy that skin. That's it's an all-timer. Yeah, I've been playing Fortnite. I have sort of an odd and on again, off again relationship with Fortnite.
Yeah.
I played it a lot in like 2018. It was like right when we moved to Seattle, and I'd like picked it up on Switch, and I think it had been like out and maybe in early access prior to that. I don't exactly remember the specifics of it, but that was around the time that they were doing their like first couple seasons. Season in Fortnite essentially just being like every now and then they will refresh like the battle pass and their guns and how the game works and shit like that. I played a lot around that. I really enjoyed it. Like, I was about to say, for anybody who doesn't know what Fortnite is, you know what Fortnite is. I don't need to explain any of this to any of you. But
cultural phenomenon.
Yeah,
Fortnite.
like you know what it is. Like, hey, have you heard of the movies? They're moving pictures. They're movies. It's like, yeah, you will know what this video game is. But I think like after the sort of, I guess, like mad dash of that early era of battle royale games, Fortnite was the one that I landed on in 2018. I think a lot of people did, obviously, of like, this one feels really good. And they've kind of got it, like I liked PUBG, but it was like kind of dense in a way that like, I'm sure some people like, but I was just like, could we sand some of the edges off here? Like it's kind of a challenging game to manage, not just to like play, And so like there was a lot of that. And then I think Apex came out in like 2019 or something. So that's obviously not exactly the same thing, but team-based or solo-based battle royale, it's close. And yeah, I was just like struck at the time by like how good it felt, how the like quest integration that they have of like, here, do some stuff so you can unlock some like skins or sprays or whatever, how well that integrated into the game to the point where it's like, it does the similar thing to Hades where like, if you're grinding the quests and like trying to unlock shit, even if you die sometimes, it's like, well, like it wasn't all a waste. Like I did this one little bit of my quest that I need to do. And that feels great. So like you're still kind of progressing in a way. And I think that they like took that into consideration in a really smart direction. It feels good to keep playing the game. Again, all of this definitely comes with the caveat of like, if you are somebody who is prone to spending a shitload of money on skins, like of course this is going to be a different experience, but like I feel like for the most part, I don't usually like ball out on any of these skins. You know, it's like,
you don't have a John Wick skin. Kratos skin.
I do not. I've purchased 2 skins in my time of playing Fortnite.
What skins?
One is a pug because
sure,
I have a pug and I wanted to play as one too. And the other one is Mariah Carey. Because
what?
I needed those 2 to be the ones that I have purchased. I needed it to be a pug and Mariah Carey.
You needed that dichotomy.
Yeah. It gives mixed messages in a way that I really like. And it was like her in her sort of like Christmas outfit, because I guess that's
sure,
just her shtick
All
these
I Want
days.
for Christmas with You, Mariah Carey.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like kind of outlined with Christmas magic in a way.
Okay.
And so I just usually find it pretty easy to be like, I'll just play the quests and do their little battle pass or whatever. Are you seeing some JPEGs of Mariah in Fortnite?
I'm looking at Mariah Carey Fortnite.
Yeah.
Do you have a better win rate with her or with your pug?
I think the pug, this is actually a thing I was going to talk about, but like, I feel like when I was playing on the Switch a couple of years ago, or I guess, 2018, that's quite a long time ago, I was getting wins pretty regularly. Like,
yeah,
I was, I would say maybe every 5 to 6 games I would win. David, I haven't won any. I am getting clapped in Fortnite.
It's brutal out there.
I'm getting so hurt in this video game so regularly. And it's possible that like the tide has risen and my skill level is no longer good in this game.
Sure.
I also do wonder if like the matchmaking I was doing in Switch was just like with the other true children at the time. And I'm playing on PlayStation 5 right now, and so like I'm in the trenches, There's also
the adult man.
It feels like it. It's also got crossplay, and so like chances are you're playing with whoever, and that's intense. The reason I'd gotten back into it in the first place is that one of my friends up here in Seattle, she has a nephew who's playing this game, and so she's been playing it a lot.
Gotcha.
This nephew is like young; he's a child, but this also gives her an avenue into like learning the game very quickly.
Sure.
Because him and all of his other like 8-year-old friends are like, wow, our aunt is playing Fortnite. Let's like bring her up to speed a little bit. And so she's got this like view into what Fortnite is like for an 8-year-old right now, which I think is hilarious and also like kind of informative in a way. And it's cool and fun. So I also was like, well, I haven't played Fortnite in a while. I'll go check that shit out. Hey, it's still really good. This is still a really, really good video game. Surprising no one, for sure.
Yeah.
I will say it's been a little while since I have seen Fortnite as much of a platform as it is. Like the last couple times I've played, it's still mostly just been the shooting dudes game. But like it's almost Robloxing itself, where there are just like so many different kinds of sub games that you can go and explore and play. There's like so much shit in there.
Yeah.
Which I find really fascinating. And like, of course, I'm curious about sort of the morals and ethics of all that, because I know Roblox is just like totally fucked in their like compensation for creators is like essentially nothing, I think.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, there's like some dubious shit in there too of like any of the money you make on this, we make it too or something.
They have been accused of child labor, of using child labor to make money.
Yeah. Which is just
for good reason too.
Yeah. Like that's such a low bar to try and clear, like, among the things a company can do, like, oh yeah, sorry about that. We were grinding up people into the meat grinder because our safety standards weren't high enough, we were using child labor, like similar to levels of just like fucked up stuff. And so I don't know enough about Fortnite to know, like, are you paying people? What's happening here? But it is pretty wild to see just the sheer amount of breadth that they have on this, that it's now this sort of like huge platform, which again, I think anybody who plays this regularly will not be surprised by any of that. But I've got this sort of like both insider and outsider view of this game, because I like the video game part of it, but almost everything else I'm like pretty regularly unfamiliar with.
Sure.
I just like the platform, like I said, any of the sort of like culture of it right now is also so strange. Like what is hot in Fortnite and what is not necessarily just at the, culture at large, but like Fortnite itself also seems to have like culture unto itself, you know?
Makes sense. There's a lot of people in there.
There's a lot of people in there, and a lot of people like who have been playing this game nonstop for years. And so like it makes sense that they would have this sort of like internal like speak and how to play the game. And just sort of like standards essentially of like what you do or don't do in the game is also hilarious. Right now, their big thing is this like kind of like outlaw patch that they're doing, or outlaw chapter. And a lot of it involves like robbing banks in the game. And so like there's these events where like if you show up at any of the banks, you can try and like break open the bank vault. And if you do that, there's like a bunch of like cool weapons and gold inside that you can use to get more cool shit. But you have to do it, and it's like you're really exposed for a minute or two while like the bank is being broken into, and they'll like spawn a bunch of like NPCs to come and fight you, which of course, like if anybody is like a human out there, they will see like, oh, there's a fight going on at the bank. I should go like check that out, you know? And so it's like sort of a risky thing to do sometimes, especially if like the drop bus is like directly over one of these banks, like probably somebody is already there. And so like all of that's very fun and interesting. Again, the quest integration is pretty fun because, you know, half of them will be like, okay, in this game, you need to collect like 500 gold from a bank robbery or something like that. And it's very interesting to see them like layer these two video games on top of each other. It's like everybody is playing Battle Royale when you're doing this, right? Like that is currently happening, but also there's this other shit that's going on that you also need to be playing. It's like two video games are happening simultaneously.
Whoa.
Which is just very fun. Like, I think that's a really cool integration of like online play that is so much more than just like team deathmatch, you know, like it's much more than that. And so it's fascinating and I'm having a really good time. Like I have a hard time putting it down. You know, it's very much one of those games of like, oh, I got like 90th place. That was a terrible performance. Like I should play one more, you know, or like, it's you know, I need to be, you know, doing something else tonight, or I should pack one round of Fortnite won't hurt. One more, you know. Which I'm curious if that is necessarily because it is a fun game to play, or if I'm just like on that grind of like, I want to win and to unlock more shit. They need to be different.
Dude. I'm grinding out here.
And I will say, like, I feel like it is still a very good game because I was playing it in 2018 when like this kind of integration was not nearly as sophisticated as it is now. Like at this point, there are like 4 or 5 battle passes that you can simultaneously be working on. There's like the actual battle pass. There's like a music pass. There's like the Lego battle pass and shit. I saw Lego Mariah Carey.
Yes. Does everyone have a Lego version?
I think for the most part they do.
Because they have a Lego version of Fortnite now, don't they?
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Crazy.
It's wild. And so like, yeah, it's just been very, I guess what I was saying is that the music pass is the one that I am always tempted by because you can just make somebody sing whatever, you know, like, and I think part of the fun is that like I'm playing as Mariah Carey singing Chappell Roan's Hot to Go after I just shot someone in the face and I'm like dancing on their grave now, you know, like that.
Wow.
That sort of shit is really good. There's also this like,
I might dissociate if I did that.
I mean, that's kind of part of it of just like it is nurturing this like kind of absurd, almost bordering on corporate hellscape video game that like knows that it's ridiculous as it is.
Sure.
And like, I think most other companies and corporations can't get away with it like this. They want to get away with it like Epic does so badly because like just on the face of it, it is like a wild cash grab to make a game like this, you know, like, hey, we're putting Ripley from Alien in this one. And everybody's like, cool, nice. I like that. And like, if Wendy's was like, we're putting Ripley on our burgers, you'd be like, that's so weird. Why are you doing this? And like, you know, it works sometimes, but just like you can see how much of a like cash grab a lot of this stuff is. But I think because of the kind of like goodwill of the game has built over time. And like, I think part of it too is that like a lot of these battle passes are kind of worth it in a way.
Sure.
Like even if you're not playing the premium one where you unlock other shit, like they are giving stuff to you at a pretty regular clip. And so I think at a certain point it is just like, well, I like this and I feel like I'm excited to be in this space. And like, obviously everybody is playing it. So it's not hard to want to spend more time there, but it shouldn't work, you know, like is what I'm getting at, is that like the economics of it seems silly that it would work this way, but somehow it does. I suspect that will not be true forever. Like, I know Epic wants this to be like the forever game, that like Fortnite will be there in 40 years and it's going to be the same shit and there's going to be a bunch of other new cool things. I don't think it's going to work like that forever. I suspect that like the culture will shift a little bit at some point and be like, why are we in this like marketing slop video game, you know? Because they really just need like maybe a couple bad decisions and they're there, you know, like, because if the game stinks, it's going to be bad immediately, you know, like it kind of, once they tiptoe over that line, that theoretical line, like it's not going to work as well. But I say that now, it's been going for like 7 or 8 years at this point. And you know, I hear every now and then, specifically on Press Start, Noah and Nathaniel talk about it pretty regularly of like what's going on in Fortnite. And, you know, they have said before, like, this season sucks, or like, I don't like this mechanic or something like that. And so there's clearly some resistance to some of the things that they're doing, but I don't think enough so far that they're just totally throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But it does kind of feel like the moment that all of this gets taken as a given, like just the economic model of it and the sheer amount of like just marketing and characters and everything in there, like it's going to reach saturation at some point. And I imagine a kid who is like 6 when they start playing Fortnite or whatever. 10 years later, they're 15. Fortnite's still the same fucking thing. And they're still getting like shoveled this like marketing and ads and shit like that. They're going to be like, ay, man. Like, I don't know anymore.
Maybe.
It's possible. It's possible that it will continue to do that, because like, I think you see a similar effect on millennials with like how we got marketed to in the 90s with toys and shit like that.
Sure.
And there are plenty of people who are like, I fucking love Funko Pops, man. I just can't get enough of these little guys. But I would say that that's kind of a minority among millennials, that it is, I think large part people are not buying toys in droves anymore. And obviously, you know, toys are different than video games, but just like you don't see the same kind of consumer behavior in exactly the same way there. And so like, I feel like at some point the culture will get tired of it. But in the meantime, the game still fucking rocks. It's still really, really fun.
I was about to say, as long as the game is fun, I feel like people are going to still keep playing it.
Yes.
I think that's the secret sauce that this whole entire capitalistic orgy has been built atop of.
Yeah. It is either the game will get worse because of like enshittification, meaning like the board will be like, why aren't we making exponential money anymore? And they'll be like, well, every child in America plays Fortnite, so there's no more people. And they're like, yeah, but we need more money. And then they're going to make the game worse as a result. Yeah.
You have to buy specific parts of the map to access them. There's different tiers of the battle bus. There's like the shit bus that's like the economy class, or you could get like VIP battle bus. It's just like people rocking out with Mariah Carey and John Wick in there.
You start with less health in the economy section in Fortnite.
You start with just like a little bit of a cold.
Yeah, you feel
not
kind
like
of
bad.
shitty for the first 5 minutes of the game.
Exactly.
Pay
you
$2
get put into the swamp.
Pay $2 to chug emergency on your way down.
The VIP class get flown straight to Trump Tower in Fortnite.
God, yeah.
And they just get like golden sniper rifles to pick people off from like a mile up.
God, I'm so bad at sniping in this game. I tried to pick it up again. Every video game that has a sniper in it, I want to be good with it, and I literally never am. It doesn't make sense to my fingers, man.
Once upon a time, give me a sniper on Blood Gulch, I'm there. But my old man fingers don't have it anymore.
No, my twitchy reflexes aren't there, so I have to play with other weapons.
Shotguns.
It's more the assault rifles, because there's a lot of opportunities to hit with an assault rifle. Like it's just pumping out bullets, and if I can just get the reticle close enough, then usually it'll do me solid. But like if somebody's running up on me and they've got like a good shotgun and they're just gonna jump around me and sprint and slide, like it's over for me. That's not going to be a thing I survive.
Are you playing the buildy version or no? Do people play the building version still? Is that still as popular, or is it more like people are going towards just the shooting now?
I think in the numbers that I've seen, it looks close to split, that like about half play each. I could be mistaken about that, or maybe it's just determined by or it's driven by what time of day I'm playing. But I'd say there's a substantial number of people playing either one. I just that's another thing. I am more confident in my ability to snipe than I am to build. I'm never going to get good at it.
That's when I was out. That's when I was out on Fortnite. I was shooting somebody, and then all of a sudden they just built the fucking Eiffel Tower in 2 seconds. I'm like, how? I have no idea how. I place one piece, and I feel good about myself. It took me a minute just to fucking figure out the UI of it all.
Yeah, which I don't know. Again, just the UI was challenging. But if I was going up against a bunch of other dipshits who barely knew how to build, that would be fine. But when it gets down to the final 5 or whatever, you're probably playing against people who also know how to build. And
gotcha.
I usually opt for no build, which whenever I lose to somebody who's just better at shooting than me, I'm like, all right, well, you earned it, you did it. Or if they outsmart me and come around an angle that I'm not expecting, okay, sure, you beat me. Whereas build feels like I haven't put in the hours yet. I feel like I'm a baby playing against a man in basketball. And I'm my knees haven't developed like yours yet.
It's a baby versus Shaq.
Yes, I'm going to get dunked on. Yeah, but I just opt for no build in this case, which is satisfying for me. I'm glad that they offer that as an option.
I need them to make the dipshits only arena so that I can get into this game.
The Bozo League.
I need to get into the Bozo League. They can start the Bozo system. They can do it.
Hey, are you ass at shooters? Come here. We'll make it feel better for you.
The Bozo tier list.
I will say they do typically add a pretty healthy amount of bots in most levels or most games.
Oh,
so
really?
It's not, you can kind of tell sometimes of if their name is 2 nouns and some numbers after it, usually it's that's probably a bot. Plus they're playing a little wonky. You're why were they just running at me shooting? That's kind of a bad strategy.
Yeah.
Whereas if you hit somebody who's really whew, that was a fucking fight and that was really challenging. So I think that they smartly will probably tune that based on how well you're doing. If you're just totally kicking ass, put them in the matches where there are fewer bots. It's more people. But the Bozo League is mostly just do you want to have a little bit of fun shooting these bots and then maybe you encounter a real person? So they do balance it fairly well.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Anyway, that's Fortnite. I'm having a great time with it.
Great.
I feel like this is the most I have gotten into Fortnite since starting. Fun game. Enjoying it a lot. Oh, what do you want me to talk about? What else do you want here? I got 3 games. One of them is a return to a game I talked about last week, which I probably have a little bit to say about. Or you can have Killing Angels, or you can have an enlightening jaunt.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to give you my order of what I wanted in.
I'm going to give you one. You get one. You can get one. You get one. You get to choose.
Oh, I have to do the Killing Angels.
Okay, great. I've been playing Bayonetta, David.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that is exactly the game, isn't it?
It's Killing Angels, yeah.
Killing Chris Angels.
Killing Chris Angels. It's Mind Freak time, everybody. Bayonetta, a video game. I feel like I am sort of on the outside of Bayonetta. It was a game that I know
outside looking in, you've looked at Bayonetta through a glass wall for a long time. Yeah, that looks good.
I've been seeing the series from the outside, being people really seem to like it. And I played the first one. I've played this one before.
Yeah,
but I had very little memory of it. It's a game that I've just kind of memory hold of played it, don't really remember what happened there, but oh well. I think part of that was that it came out just during such a busy moment, in our lives personally. This was in October of 2009. So both of our first semesters of college. And I was also moving out shortly around there too, to a house. And I was just what are video games right now? Yeah. And so the moment was just not perfect, but I never really got back on board. But I like the games like Bayonetta. I like Devil May Cry. And this was made by, it's from Platinum Games, but the director is Hideki Kamiya, who's at this point kind of a legendary game designer. From Capcom, he directed Resident Evil 2 and Devil May Cry and Beautiful Joe and Okami and worked for Clover for a while.
Yep.
So it's just sort of a big deal in the games industry. And for anybody who's a huge fan, I will say this is probably, my feelings about it will probably not be exactly the same because I'm just not a super fan, you know? It would be as if this is the first time I'm playing Kingdom Hearts and
sure,
all the real freaks are here we go, baby. Let's hear about him talk about it. Like not really. Like, I'm just here for the fighting and it's pretty fucking good is what I'm experiencing so far. It is like a beat 'em up hack and slash sort of deal, which maybe action adventure is the better genre description there, but it plays a lot like Devil May Cry. Like that is a very similar analog. You are playing as the titular Bayonetta, who is this Umbra witch. Yeah, she is this like very, very old timey time witch who's like kind of lost her memory a little bit. She doesn't really remember like what happened a while back, but I think part of her story is that she has to like kick angel ass or she gets dragged to hell. And so she's just been doing that. And yeah, the beginning is way the fuck over the top. And like, I will say that something that this game does really, really well is like set piece design, that a lot of the times that you're fighting, it is just so outrageous what's going on.
Yeah.
The very first essentially tutorial level is that you are fighting on top of like a falling boulder or like statue that has been destroyed. You and this other witch. It's if you've played the Smash level of Bayonetta, it's that scene.
Yeah.
Where like shit is just going haywire in the background and you are fighting like all these monsters and shit. And they do that so well throughout the entire game, where like any boss battle takes place on like many different locations most of the time. One of the ones kind of earlier on is like this dragon fight that or like, I guess it's an angel, but he has like dragon arms or something.
Cool.
Yes. Side note, the character design and the enemy design in this, superb. So good. So much fun. Way over the top and so cool. But this fight that you're doing, it's like you start in this like church chapel and the like demon or the dragon head is like fighting you. And then at some point you like realize that it has lifted off. You're still in the room, but it zooms out a little bit and you're like in the sky with this like room stuck on its head, which eventually of course like shatters and you have to like jump off and do a bunch of other shit, which like, it's just good. Like that's good, fun game design. And I think that one of the things that this game does really well is just communicating like how over the top all this shit is in more ways than one. And weirdly enough, I feel a lot of Beautiful Joe in this game. You can really feel the influence there. I think there's a lot of just the kind of like movie motif. You see the sort of like the frames of a movie, that kind of like top and bottom that have little like holes in it. You see that really often. Just the sound of like a shutter opening and closing happens pretty often. And Witch Time too, the thing where like if you dodge and like an enemy, then suddenly the whole game slows down. That's very Beautiful Joe, where like if you dodge something, like suddenly you can kick major ass, which I had never really noticed, but playing it now, it's like it's clear as hell that like, damn, this game took a lot from Beautiful Joe, which is pretty amazing. Because I love that game and it's, it was a welcome addition here. So I really, really, really like that. It's worth noting the ass in the room, that the Bayonetta is a hypersexualized character.
Yeah.
And I think that this game like came out sort of prior to the games industry really like grappling in a major way with like, hey, are we the baddies right now? With like how all of this is working with like the relationship with women in video games. And like the game isn't perfect for sure, but I think it is closer to the mark of being like actually not bad in the characterization that it has of Bayonetta. And I think part of it is that she herself is just such a over the top character.
Yeah.
And she is a character who is like, she is a sexual character, but she's not like sexualized for the player necessarily. There's definitely some camera angles where I'm like, we didn't need to be there for sure.
Yeah.
But like, I just think that like it is closer to being like justified in how the game positions her. I think also the fact that like she is a fully like sexually liberated character who is largely fighting like the church and angels, all of whom like very regularly are phallic shaped, like just constantly there's just dick monsters everywhere. And that there's something to be said there of like a kind of liberated woman like beating an institution that very regularly keeps women down is like, okay, well, like
taking down the patriarchy.
Yeah, a little bit, right? Like I think it is doing the right things to make it feel less weird. And like, I just think for a long time, there was no deftness with how games handled this shit. Like it was either all sex or no sex.
Sure.
And either one of those approaches for a long time didn't grapple with the idea in any real capacity, and so I think it took a long time for the industry to mature and be like, okay, well, we're not necessarily prudes,
yeah.
It's not that sex shouldn't be in video games or like sexualized characters shouldn't be in them, but how do we do that in a way that is like responsible and doesn't feel like oogling or like for the player's enjoyment,
Sure. Yeah.
And I think that like Bayonetta largely does feel like that most of the time it's like, well, she's kicking major ass and like kind of using the oogling that the other characters in the game do against her or against them, like
sure.
She kind of comes off as like, ooh, aren't I a sexy lady? And then like, we'll just
Beats
like chop the head off of an angel after that, like it works for her. And I think that that's really like funny in a way. And also like, yeah, great. That works for me. Again, like I always go back to Hades, but like that's the game, right? Like I feel like that's the example of like everybody can be hot and they are all hot. And all of it makes sense within their characters, all of these Greek gods are attempting to manipulate you and they're using their physical appearance to do that.
They are gods.
They are gods. And like in a similar way, Bayonetta, who is in an all female witch coven, like uses her physical appearance to manipulate people and also beat them,
Yeah.
And like, largely against institutions in this game that are like totally shitty, totally terrible, the people she are fighting are just irredeemably bad,
Yeah.
And so like I think it makes it a little bit closer to the line of like, yeah, sure. Like this makes sense. She is a sexual character, but not a objectified character in a way.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It's cool to see. I am curious how they handle that as the series goes on. Like if this if it changes at all or if there's a different approach to it, because again, this is like 2009 when this comes out, like we're still fully in the like booth babes at E3 era kind of thing. And so I don't know how they eventually kind of go on with it, but it's I think it's interesting and like at the very least like on the side of good here.
On the side of good.
Yeah.
God and anime.
I've got God and anime on my side. So yeah, I'm having a really good time with it. The combat is just fucking superb. It's so good.
Yeah, it looks real good.
It's incredible. Like they just know how to make one of these fucking video games. Mm-hmm. There is so much depth to the combat, despite like if you just smash buttons, like that also feels good. But like all the shit that we talked about with DMC, like all of that is here. It feels phenomenal to just beat major ass over and over again. The different kind of weapons that they give. The fact that she has fucking guns on her heels, like come on.
It's good shit.
It's just good. So like it really can't be overstated how good the combat feels and like how rare that is, it seems. And sort of a bummer that like we get this less and less, that like the FromSoft stuff is the model that people are chasing right now. And so like it's harder to get these kind of like good beat 'em up games because it's just not really what's hot right now.
No, it's not.
Which is, it's a shame because this also feels phenomenal. It's really, really good. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm probably gonna beat this. I don't think it's a very long game. And I'd say I'm probably about like halfway through or so. I can't stop fighting these big angels. They are so much fun. Really, like it reminds me of Azura's Wrath in like the scale of some of the fights and just like going like over the top with how big of a monster you're fighting. Mm-hmm. Which is really great. I think Azura's Wrath at a certain point does get like even more over the top, but
it's crazy.
I appreciate that scale is something that they're playing with in the sort of like monsters that you're fighting. So yeah, that's Bayonetta. That's what I got working.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
Me. Yeah,
I always want to try this one.
I was thinking that you should give it a go. Like, yeah, it's a game that I bet you would like a lot. Like, just the combat system is something that I think would appeal to you. Mm-hmm. And they feel good. They're older at this point, but like they sure do feel nice.
Maybe I'll play them on my Switch too.
God, yeah. I mean, I think they did come out with 1 and 2 on Switch, so like presumably you should be able to play it on Switch too. Yeah, if and when that comes out. It's bundled with Silksong. Who knows?
It's bundled with they're all Silksong edition. It's
anyway,
the Wii Sports of this one. Sorry, continue.
This will bring me to my Podtimistic thing of the week.
Which is?
It is scale in video games, David. It's playing with scale in video games. Whenever it works so goddamn good. Obviously, like the example, the shining statue on a hill is Shadow of the Colossus, right? Like that's the scale game. That's the one where they made the monster really big. and that really works. But like they do it all the time. Like the first time you encounter like a Reaper in Mass Effect is like, oh Lord, this is really different than I thought it was, you know?
Yeah, this is danger.
Yes. Yeah. All of it's really fun. Or even the other direction too, in something like Astrobot, where you're like shrinking down as a way to like navigate through certain parts. Really good. That's also really good. And it's just something that I think games specifically can do really well, just because you can like scale just often plays a really important part in a video game of like the monsters that you're playing. Literally, like if Goombas were much bigger, it would be hard to get on top of their head and jump on them, you know?
Sure.
And so like it's just kind of wild to be able to see some people experimenting with it that much. Like literally Shadow of the Colossus is, what if the enemies were just fucking big? And like, how would you have to change the game to accommodate for that? You know, how do we have to make the mechanics different if like the standard bad guy was a 10-story building, you know? That's just, it's so cool. It's really neat when they do that. David, do you have something fueling your sense of podtimism?
Yeah. Yours is physical scale. Mine is time scale.
Oh, yeah. Tell me.
Yeah. I just love it when a game just covers a wide swath of time where it feels like an epic, right? Or if there's like a huge time jump into the future, like Nier Automata or Asura's Wrath. And then, of course, most recently, 1000 Times Resist. It always makes it feel a lot more interesting to me when you do a big jump like that, because it's not something that's commonly done in games, at least as often as, you know, I think it could be used. But everyone likes a good epic, and to have these conflicts that span such a long course of time just really puts you in a different mindset and gives the game a different feel. Then, you know, it's just like, oh, the Russians are invading and you have to defend this Burger King now. Let's go, right?
Is that a little hint at the game that we're going to talk about here in a second?
A little bit, I guess. Yeah. It was also a flashback to, what was it? Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
I think it's Modern Warfare 2 is the one you're referring to.
Right? Yeah. Where like America, like the DC is getting invaded by Russians and you have to hide out in a Burger King or something. Yeah. That was a weird level.
Burger Town, I think was the name
Burger
of it.
Town. You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize. I have a real Call of Duty head over here. COD guy over here.
Fable did this really well in the first Fable, where you like start as a kid and then you like immediately grow up. I'm like, that's cool. That's a cool little mechanic.
Ocarina of Time.
I was just going to say the GOAT. Yeah, we missed the GOAT.
How did I not do that one?
A like quintessential video game experience. Like truly mind blowing. Oh my God, this is crazy that this is happening.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild as well.
Yes. Yeah, true. What else? You get a little bit of it in Red Dead 1, where like you've kind of beaten the game and John Marston's like, I'm safe with my family, maybe.
Joke's on you. And then your son has to finish the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Sick.
It's cool. I agree that like a good time skip, when it hits, it really hits. Fire Emblem, Three Houses as well. Good time skip right in the middle. And like, you know, I love seeing characters who are like, here's what they looked like back then and here's what they look like now. It's cool now. They're cool.
Are they cool or are they crusty? Who knows?
Yeah. Some of them are cool and some of them are crusty.
That's how it happens.
Dimitri, I'm looking at you, brother.
Oh, is he cool or crusty?
He's a little crusty initially.
Wow. Oh, initially, but then he becomes cool.
I would say yes. I would say fighting his own demons makes him cool.
The time skip helped him.
Eventually. He has to go through it first.
Classic Dimitri.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to our main thing, David?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. Hey, welcome to Good Games. It's a segment where we talk about the okayest games of yesteryear and gush all the things that we love about them. We got suggested to play Command and Conquer Renegade, David.
Yes, we did.
We got suggested this by listener DC. Thank you, DC.
Thank you, DC.
On the topic of this game, they had to say, having enjoyed the Command and Conquer Red Alert games, Teenage Me was excited that Westwood Studios created a first-person shooter that dropped a player directly onto the battlefield. There were definitely better shooters before and during this time, but as I ran around as the commando in the Command and Conquer universe, I didn't much care. I also have fond memories of the team-based multiplayer mode that entailed attacking the opponent's team base while defending your own. I had also read that there's like a fan, this is me talking, thank you DC, there's a fan like remake of the multiplayer of this game, so it's like kind of still going on, which I find very interesting.
Okay.
Just kind of like got updated. Had you heard of two questions? One, had you heard of this game? Had you played it? And were you a Command and Conquer head?
I had vague ideas that this game existed. I played quite a bit of Command and Conquer, actually. I might have played more Command and Conquer than StarCraft.
I was hoping that this was the answer because I didn't. I was not a Command and Conquer guy, but like the people who did were like, yes, brother, love this video game.
It was a lot of fun. My dad was very big into Command and Conquer.
That extremely checks out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why I played a lot more of this game, because I think he played a lot of the Command and Conquer games, because I think there's just a lot more of them than StarCraft. So they just kept turning them out, and he just kept on eating them up, and I absorbed that through him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely like look like cool RTS games. I've never gotten into them. I think my drug of choice was the StarCraft and Warcraft, partially just for like the aesthetic of it. I liked the aesthetics that they were pulling off there. But like Command and Conquer is definitely up there. If like, you know, if you play RTS games, you almost certainly have at least fucked around with Command and Conquer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is cool. I like that. Can I hit you with some hot stats about this video game, David?
Please.
Hot stats.
Okay, so Command and Conquer Renegade came out February 26th, 2002 for the PC. As suggested by DC, this was made by Westwood Studios, who I was honestly a little bit surprised to see also made Command and Conquer. I feel like sometimes you will see these studios like farm out the side game to some other studio.
Yeah.
And like they make the main thing, but like you guys can handle the spin-off games. But no, it was made in-house. They also
this might have been just a couple interns in the corner.
It's totally possible. They also made Pirates: The Legend of the Black Cat, and also Golden Nugget 64, which appears to be some sort of gambling game for the N64.
Like Golden Nugget the casino.
I believe so. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. What a catalog.
Yeah. But hey, fun game, maybe. I don't know. I haven't played it. I don't know what Golden Nugget 64 is like.
Gateway to gambling. Here you go, kids.
Yeah, hell yeah. Love that. I hope that was a mature video game.
It came with the stench of secondhand smoke inside the box, so you open it up.
Just baked into the carpet that's on the cartridge.
The cartridge is coated in carpet that smells like secondhand smoke. Wow.
I do have a review from Joe Video of Command and Conquer Renegade. Their review was originally in French, and I ran it through Google Translate a number of times to get an artist's interpretation of it, which I will read for you now, David.
Let's hear it.
When I think of the Empire and Conquer series, I imagine small military units safely moving from one location to another on a map, armed with powerful weapons that can be controlled with a single click, and broken metal dogs ready to fall. In other words, Command and Conquer is a combat game set in the real world. Of course, the success of the series means more than just its creators or actors, who knows, as it spawned to numerous sequels, spin-off sequels. Everyone appreciated the style, which included new units, new methods, and, most importantly, technological advancements. Renegade tries to swim against the current in a declining industry, but it is still worth checking out. For the first time, the C&C series is breaking new ground. Remember, it all happened in an instant. And they gave that an 8 out of 10, David.
Very, very like pensive, kind of contemplative at the end there.
Yeah, they're thinking in this one. This one feels like it was written by AI because like the sentence structure seems correct. But there's just not really anything there. There's no sentence being, or like there's no thought being communicated.
What's up with the metal dogs being unleashed? Is that what they said?
Yeah, let's see. When this author plays Command and Conquer, they think of being able to move an army and also of broken metal dogs, which for some reason means it's set in the real world for them.
Broken metal dogs. Yeah. Sounds like it could be a Metal Gear Solid character or like a Death Stranding character.
Yeah. Broken metal dog is the guy.
Yeah.
Or let me pitch you on this.
Just a choke chain.
That's like shattered a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me pitch you on Metal Dog is the name of the leader, and Broken Metal Dogs is like the paramilitary group that he leads.
I see that. Metal Dog and his broken metal dogs.
Yeah.
That are like his, he's broken them. He's there. They were wild before, but now they're his dogs.
Oh yeah. Interesting. I was just thinking like they're defects, they're rejects, and he takes them in, but I like broken as in like their will has been subjugated.
Could be a little bit of both.
Good. What is Command and Conquer Renegade, David?
Command and Conquer Renegade is a first-person shooter set in the Command and Conquer universe. You take on the role of a commando. I don't even remember what his name was, but
I don't either.
America Commando Man. loose cannon commando cop on the edge who goes around and just one man arming it. One man armying it. There you go. Not one man arming it. One man armying it, and just really letting you fulfill your commando dreams of to let you command and conquer to your heart's desire.
Yeah. Captain Nick Havoc Parker is his name. Havoc.
So his name is Nick Parker, and Havoc is what they call him. That's right.
Yes. Yeah. How did you feel about this one?
I appreciated it. I appreciated what it was doing. You know, whenever I see a first person shooter set in like a existing RTS IP, I can't not think about StarCraft Ghost. I'm just like, is this game is giving the fans what they wanted. Like sometimes some people just want to be able to get into this world, see it from a different perspective, see all these units that they know and have and love and have had interactions with and throughout many years, and experience them in a different way, and it gives you that. And I do think that it does that admirably. And I really enjoyed how when after Havoc commandeers a hovercraft to start the battle 6 hours early because he can't let any civvies die. It goes from the top-down RTS style look of a game, and then goes down into his viewpoint. You're like storming a beach essentially with a hovercraft and a pistol, and that's it. So yeah, I really appreciated what it was giving to fans of the Command and Conquer franchise. I think it was an admirable attempt. I don't know if it's the most engaging first-person shooter I've ever played, but I don't think it's bad. It is, I think, a game that is aiming for maybe not aiming for, but if I was a young child or a younger kid playing this game when it came out, I would have been probably all over it because it's pretty easy to shoot. It's pretty easy to take down the enemies. You feel pretty powerful, and they give you a tank in the very first level, and that's always a plus. That is always a plus.
Yeah. This game feels extremely PC of its era. Like not politically correct, but personal computer.
Sure.
This game is way too PC. No, it's
woke now.
But like, I feel like PC games of this era were really leveraging like vehicle combat and like big scale battles and shit like that. That it was stuff that like on consoles, it was a little bit more challenging to do, which is also why like Halo was such a big deal in the first place. Yeah. Because like multiplayer on these like huge maps with actual tanks, you're like, this is unbelievable. I can't believe we're doing this. And so it feels very of that era. The shooting too, for some reason, feels very PC. Just the way that it like, I don't know, something about the way that it feels to handle the guns is like, yes, this is like 2 steps away from Counter-Strike almost.
Sure.
Which is interesting. And yeah, I agree that it's like, it's such a cool avenue to explore the game in. And I feel like a lot of RTS games at the time, that was like the golden goose almost of like, how do we make that transition? And I think initially why World of Warcraft was so interesting, because it's like, I have only seen this world from the top down and like way zoomed out. And so to zoom in on like one character was like, oh dude, whoa.
Who are you?
Who are you? And also, like you were alluding to, why it was just like so devastating for StarCraft Ghost to just continually get canceled over and over and over again. I guess
StarCraft Silk Song.
I was just going to make that comparison. It's like for all the non-old heads, like Silk Song feels like that situation of they keep teasing it, and like it just never really materializes, which was a bummer. I wish we got Ghost, but I also wonder if like Ghost was a situation where the game was quite bad and they were like, we need to do something about this, and then eventually they're just like, you know what? No, it's not going to work. You know?
Yeah, that's probably it.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I liked this game a fair bit. I think that the shooting of it all was really fun. It's a very silly video game. Like after you do the first level, they play like a cutscene and Havoc walks into like the command room, and his first sentence is, "Where's my medal?" Because he just like kicked a bunch of ass and is like just a total shithead. And so, honestly, I was a little bit surprised that Havoc was like, yo, they're gonna like fuck up civilians. We need to go in there right now.
I know. I was not,
because I was like, all right, a man of the people. I appreciate that. Yeah. Of course, like, you know, that archetype kind of doesn't exist in the real world. It's mostly just, you know, top down sort of dichotomy there. Yeah. But I was like, all right, Havoc, at least you're like thinking about the people, which is fine. It's also funny that at the end of that mission, he's like, we got to go in now. And his commander's like, don't, that's an order. And he's like, heard, and then walks out of the room. And like truly within seconds,
the alarm
like,
starts going off.
yeah. They're like, hey, a hovercraft is being stolen. And he's like, duh, of course. His commander is also like, find him. I'll either give him a medal and then shoot him.
Yeah.
For like subordination. And then the moment you start the level, he's like, all right, Havoc, what's up? I'm your guy right now. Like, I'm going to talk you through this mission. Like, okay, so you don't care. Like, that's just not a thing.
Yeah.
But it's all very silly. Like I said, I'm not nearly as familiar with like the Command and Conquer stuff. So I do wonder if like the Tiberium harvesters, the trucks and shit that they're using.
It was cool seeing a Tiberium harvester do its thing.
That felt like, ooh, I get to see this up close and personal. Cause like it a lot of the time it didn't really serve any purpose. You know, like in the actual
it's
level,
a little fan service. Yeah.
It definitely felt that way. Cause I was like, do I need to blow this up to like do the mission?
Yeah.
And I tried a bunch of times and it didn't work. Cause I would get like poisoned by the Tiberium and it like, I was like, I guess I just leave it alone. And then eventually it was like, oh, I bet that's just for like the people who are like, whoa, dude, it's a Tiberium harvesters. Whoa.
That was a live look at what I sounded like when I saw it.
Yes. Yeah. And so like, that's all cool. Like I said, it feels very PC and just like the ability to like go in and out of buildings, I know would have been like mind blowing at the time. Just again, like I know it's trite to like talk about this constantly, but like it was pretty technologically impressive to be able to go in a building in a lot of video games at the time.
Like, this is what these bases look like on the inside.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It felt like all games were sort of trying to get at like a simulacrum of the real world. And it was so basic for so long that just literally being able to go through a door was like, whoa, dude.
Yep.
This world is alive.
There's an inside actually. Whoa.
Yeah.
Big time.
And so that was cool. So weird to play these games in 2025 and just be outside of the like Iraq war 9/11 headspace of it all. Cause like, man, is it in there? The like hyper military
the
sort
hoo-ah is hoo-ahing.
Oh man, it's dense in this one.
Yeah.
Which it feels a little self-aware, you know, like it's obviously.
I mean, Havoc is such a ridiculous character.
He's an over-the-top character, but I think the game also wants to have its cake and eat it too. Cause like they're also like, but he's the fucking hero, dude. Like he's the one who's going to get it done.
He's cool. You should be like Havoc.
Yeah. It's a very, it feels like a game of its time, or at least a kind of story of its time where that is ironic in a sense of like making him look like a dipshit and like a B-movie character, but also having their cake, meaning like he is also the hero, you know, just a great time for anti-heroes in general. But yeah, just like it was so weird. The first level you show up and essentially like there's like a roadside bomb that goes off and like you're getting attacked in between these like kind of like cliffs that are looking down on this convoy, and Havoc shows up and fucks everybody up. But like, I'm like, this sure does look like somewhere in the Middle East that is getting fought. And they're playing the most like hoorah, triumphant horn going on in the background music, just like, just like the weirdest soundtrack for like shooting insurgents. Which is weird because like from everything I understand about this game, like the Tiberian army is like bad fascists, right? Like they are like space Nazis essentially. Yeah. But you know, just the area that they're depicting and the kind of combat they're depicting is very strange. It's this weird kind of combo of like almost a World War II and Gulf War combined in a way.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like you were saying, the hovercraft like storming a beach feels very Normandy, and then like, you know, these kind of like more small and kind of intense combat zones like this in between these cliffs is like, this feels like a, you know, Iraq or Afghanistan sort of situation. Setting
feels Iraq, Afghanistan, but then the things you're doing, like the set pieces feel a little bit more World War II-y.
Yeah, for sure. Which is just, it's all very weird. Again, this game came out in February of 2002. And so like, you know, we're not all that far away from 9/11. I kind of don't think that would be enough time for them to have experienced 9/11 and also made a game about it that quickly, you know, like that's a 5-month turnaround. And so I sort of suspect like this was already kind of in the water a little bit. Obviously, like the Gulf War had already happened. And so we were already kind of like, yeah, dude, fucking let's be the military and fight in the Middle East. But it's really, really turned up to 11 in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's easier to see its foibles in a game that is kind of silly. Like it's sometimes harder to see that in Call of Duty. It's kind of like just in the water at a certain point. But in this kind of game, it's just like, yeah, we're the fucking heroes, dude. Where's my medal? I'm going to shoot the bad guys. Like it's so obvious what's happening there. It's just very easy to spot what they're doing.
Yeah.
In a way that I don't feel like any of the people making this were like, we're going to make a military propaganda game. It was just like, I don't know. That's what's cool, you know?
It was just the zeitgeist at the time.
Yeah, Rambo
doesn't seem
was cool.
intentional. Yeah.
And, you know, like Predator was cool. So let's make one of those, but with this weird guy.
But with Havoc.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. Like you said, I think the vehicle stuff is actually pretty fun.
I enjoyed the tank.
Yeah, tank was really cool. Definitely felt very Halo, like just the way it controlled and how you were shooting people. And I did sort of like the mission based stuff where it's not just you running through and blasting dudes like in Doom or something like that, as much as I love Doom. There was like a point to most of the stuff that you were doing of like, all right, we're invading this part, or we need to get to this house and save these people, you know?
That part almost felt like Dynasty Warriors-esque-ish to
yeah.
me, right? You're like running all over the map. They're like, okay, ping over here, do this thing, go over here, do this thing, go over here, do this thing. You're going all over this place. And doing a lot of very different things. So that it was a little moose-howy to me in there. Just a touch.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say, I wonder if there's a place for that, but I think that's just Earth Defense Force is the moose-out game of shooters. It's just shooting aliens, which also rips. Love Earth Defense Force. Good fucking video game. Yeah. Command and Conquer Renegade, an interesting game, I feel like.
I had a good time with it. It's good, mindless fun.
For sure, yeah. It's definitely one of the, like, in this segment, it's one of the better feeling video games among the kind of 6, 7 out of 10s that we usually play. Like, the shooting does feel quite good. And like that stuff doesn't age poorly at all. They also give you like just a laundry list of weapons that you can use.
Give you a lot of guns. Yeah. And some of them are really cool. Like the flamethrower people are kind of big in the Command and Conquer games, and it's cool to be able to use the flamethrower and to fight them. And it gives you a lot of good fan service. Not the nasty fan service, but like the military kind fan service.
I was going to say that they're very different, but maybe they're not all that different now that I'm saying that out loud.
More similar than you'd like them to be.
Yeah, that's probably true. What if I kissed a gun, you know? What if I could make a boyfriend gun? I feel like I haven't said enough words about this game, but that is the video game. Like we have talked about it.
Yeah, I don't think it's a very deep game.
No.
It is a first-person shooter set in the world of Command and Conquer with a insane, unhinged hero.
Yeah.
In quotations.
It is sort of surprising that like for so long there was such a limitation on these games of like, I just want to get a different angle on these games, you know, zooming in this far is like so wild as an experience, but like it's not that wild anymore, you know? Like, you can be playing City Skylines and zoom all the way down to like a single person walking around on the street or something.
You take them over and it's just Sims at that point.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Oh man, are you going to fuck around with Enzoi at all? Do you know what that game is?
Enzoi? No, what is that?
Enzoi, it's I think INZOI. It is like essentially a competitor to The Sims. It's very strange. I don't know if I'm going to
got a cat.
Fuck around.
Or is she a cat?
Who knows?
She's got actual hair, cat ear hair.
It looks like a game that would set my computer on fire trying to render it.
Yeah, the graphics are crazy.
Yeah. And from what I understand, there's like a little bit of AI slop in there for them being like, create a custom t-shirt or whatever. But I am very curious to see if that's any good. I don't know.
Oh, someone made Billie Eilish already.
The character creator specifically seems like unbelievably good.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking at these characters. They look all pretty convincing and unique.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. We'll see what kind of gremlin I can make.
Yeah, can you make the basketball ghoul?
Yeah, I don't want me. I want the basketball ghoul Dabian in this game.
Anyway, DC, thank you for suggesting this game. It's quite fun.
Yeah, thank you. If you would like to interact with the podcast more, you can go to podtimism.com. On there, you can see past episodes we've done. You can suggest games for us to do in the future. You can look at the thumbnail art Chase has made, and you can, of course, visit the Worst Garbage podcast channel on there on Discord. Chase already covered that in the beginning of the episode, so I'll just keep on going from here.
Oh, yeah, shit, true.
Thank you, Scott Wilkinson, for our podcast art. It's great. It's beautiful. If you want to check out her art or get commissions, you can go to ko-fi.com/humblegoat and see what's up. Yeah, and thank you for being here, listener. It's been great. We love doing this. It's fun, and it's cool that other people also want to hear us yap on and on about games and 1,000 times resist. I think Chase could probably just keep on talking about that game. I probably could too. I'd be right there with you. It's a good game.
It's a good ass game.
But yeah, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm recording the final podcast in this room that we started the podcast in.
Whoa. Are you getting a little weepy?
I think I'm just more thankful that I could be here for this long and make this cool of a thing. Well, I guess cool is subjective. You get to decide that, listener. It's something that I'm at least proud of for nearly 250 episodes. So hopefully the next pod space is as cool as this one. Or maybe it'll be so fucking bad. Maybe the vibes are going to be so rancid at the next place that I'm just like, I have to go rent my old house again.
I hope not.
Me too. But
that'd be such a bummer. It's possible though. There's a non-zero chance.
Sometimes you just roll the bad vibe dice and you get a shitty one, you know?
What if you just have like a little goblin that just lives in that house and is like really wants to be on a podcast and it's just chosen yours to be the third co-host?
I think that's Snacks, to be honest, my pug.
Oh, yeah.
Because she does live in my house and she barks with enough frequency that it feels like she wants to be a third host. You know,
she's got opinions.
Oh my God, does she have opinions? Good Lord. She does not let you not hear about them.
What's her game? What's her game of choice?
I think really whatever game has enough microphone integration that she can just shout into it.
Oh, Rock Band?
Rock Band might be good. Yeah. I'm trying to think of maybe one of the weirder DS or 3DS games that has like, for some reason, microphone integration.
Sure, yeah.
Where like the power of your shout, your thum. Maybe she likes Skyrim.
Ooh.
Because what is a bark if not a thum?
Couldn't you shout
into the Kinect?
Into the Kinect, right? If you said Fusroda, it would do it.
You can. Yeah, that is a thing that exists.
Okay. Bork, bork, bork. Do the attack.
Do the Snacks. You can do it.
Did that work well? Did you try that on the Kinect?
Yeah, it sucks. It's not good.
I was about to say, I think it would not work well at all.
It's very late, if I remember correctly. Like you do it and then a few seconds later, it is quite delayed with the thum that comes blasting out of you. And just like, I love the energy there, Xbox. I love how weird of a product that is. But right bumper is just a better way to do a shout than saying it out loud, you know?
Yeah. Keep it up, though. Keep that energy.
I'm ready for Connect 2, I think is what I'm saying.
Wow. With DRM this time?
Oh, man, that would just be great. Yeah. If you could make it online only, if you can make it extra online only, like I need gigabit internet to make it work right.
Man, what were they thinking? What suit was like, this is a good idea, guys?
A lot of them, I bet. I bet there wasn't just one. I bet there was a bunch of them. Have you asked me about gaming wisdom yet?
No. Chase, do you have any gaming wisdom for us this week?
No.
Wow. I mean, that's also wisdom. Sometimes you don't got nothing to say.
On my final day in this room until we start a new podcast, we're going to be doing the same one, just a different place. It's Video Game Podtimism 2. Ooh. Yeah. For my final one in this room, I don't have any wisdom. We're just going to sit in the space. We're going to enjoy the silence.
Just going to feel it.
And that's as much dead air as I can possibly get into this podcast.
That's it.
We will see you next week, everybody.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye.
Hey.
TWG, the worst garbage, online.